right, now we're joined by Jennifer Crow, who's running for School Board District 4. So go ahead with a 2-minute introduction.
Great. So, my name is Jennifer Crow. I live in Queen Anne, North Queen Anne. I've been a resident of Queen Anne for 13 years. I've lived in Seattle all my life, with the exception of 1 year I lived in Japan. So I made a sort of last-minute decision to run, but I've been attending some meetings about district rezoning for schools in the Queen Anne Magnolia area. And my daughter is 4, she'll be attending kindergarten starting in fall of 2018. So just really interested in the process and wanting it to be a great experience for her. I did meet someone at one of the meetings from Seattle Committee to Save Schools, and just talking with him, he was saying we need candidates to bring more topics for discussion. So I decided I wanted to be involved and trying to help make good changes and a great environment for my daughter.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Now we have our 4 prepared questions that we're asking all candidates for school board, and they're actually right in front of you if you want to turn the paper over and read along with us as we read them aloud. And Jason, will you do number 1?
Sure. What specific actions can the school board take to help assure equal educational opportunities and help close the achievement equal opportunity gap? How do you see stopping the suspension, expulsion, prison pipeline that is affecting so many kids?
So I think the school board could definitely have a lot of training and awareness programs with educators, principals, and I would encourage more options other than suspension. I think those are the main things I can think of at the moment, but yeah, I would love to look into that more and get more options. I know that it's the discipline, suspension, expulsion is not always applied fairly to different socioeconomic groups. So yeah, I would be really interested in diving more into that and finding some ways to help improve that.
Great. Nicole, number 2.
Sure. How do you view the role of a school board member in terms of district governance? Do you believe it is the role of a school board member to advocate on behalf of the public with administrative staff?
So yeah, I think the school board member is a sort of liaison between the public and administrative staff, kind of both ways for the public as well as administration. So definitely want to take all concerns of parents and the public into consideration and just make sure administration knows the feelings. Just kind of educate both sides.
Liz, number 3.
What are your priorities, and how do you propose SPS finds the necessary funds to address the classroom infrastructure needs of the district? Please specifically address the needs of Seattle's growing north downtown population for an elementary school, as well as other neighborhoods in Seattle.
Yeah, that's part of the reason that I'm really interested. I live in North Queen Anne, and I know South Lake Union is just growing exponentially. A lot of new people, new kids. I definitely know there's a need to address that, and I don't have a great answer on how to fix it yet. But I'm aware. Looking at the growth at the elementary schools, and it seems like there's not a lot of planning for middle schools and high schools. I see that they're planning for elementary, but not middle school and high school. So, I definitely want to dive into that and find out ways to address it.
Great. Robert, number 4.
What do you think the district's testing policy should be?
I think there should be less standardized testing. I think actually testing for teachers, testing and training for teachers, and really engage teachers and keep them give them lots of support and keep them up to date. And I think that it would be better to concentrate there rather than standardized testing on kids.
we'll open it up to follow-up questions. These are 1-minute answers, and we'll start with Clayton and then Jason.
Could you please tell us something about your attitude towards charter schools?
Charter school. I do not like charter schools. I think they don't have. Well, it's just that it's so varied in how they're run, and I think we should use the funds to improve the traditional public schools rather than having charter schools.
Jason?
I know this is an intimidating environment, having 6 people sort of lob questions at you. I want to say we're cheering you on and we want you to sort of help with the nerves a little bit. I think also it's hard as I'm hearing the questions to understand maybe your broader vision for what you want to see as a school board member and helping us make decisions today between the various candidates, why you and not someone else. So maybe taking a little step back from some of the policy a little bit, and what do you see, what do you want as a school board member? What motivated you to run? What's the passion that's driving you to do this?
So I'm a product of private schools rather than public schools in Seattle, and so I think my parents sent me to private school, thinking it was just the better option, and that it wouldn't be as good of an education as a public school. So, but my husband is a product of Seattle Public Schools. My daughter will be going to Seattle Public Schools. So, I think I want to just improve the perception of public school and make sure it's a place of excellent and a good choice for everyone.
Brittany?
So I also live in North Command, and my son is 4. So what specifically for our kids going forward do you see as the challenges that they're going to face in the Seattle public school system in the next 12 years when they're involved?
Well, I know there's a push for everyone wants to stay in their neighborhood. I mean, a lot of people moved to Queen Anne in order to go to a certain school, and the district rezoning is an issue right now because some people they would have to go to a different school than they thought they would. For my family, we would have to go from Queen Anne over to Magnolia, so that's an issue. But with the growth, I certainly want everyone to have a good experience, to have a small class size and a good education. So that might be necessary to not have a neighborhood school that we can walk to, but I want her to have a good school, and all kids to have a good school that's a good fit for them. Going forward, looking at middle school with the increased population and high school, to keep to go forward with that and keep the class sizes good and options open.
All right, additional questions? Yeah, Robert?
It's a question we've been asking everyone who's running for school board in particular. There are a lot of people running for office, and a lot of people filed late, which is fine. Just curious as to what your thought process was as to why you decided to throw your hat in the ring.
Well, I was definitely late. I wasn't really considering it until a couple weeks ago. And it didn't seem when I was interested there weren't many people who had filed. So I just wanted to make sure that there was discussion, that there was a chance before the primaries that everyone would get to address issues and ask questions. That was my motivation.
Great. And I'll ask one. Just maybe just tell us more about your background and what your particular expertise or life experience would you bring to the board that may not be there right now.
So yeah, I'm a native of Seattle, so I've been here all my life. I've seen a lot of changes. I have a BA in humanities from Seattle University, so I think I have kind of a broad education, so not a concentration, but can kind of see bigger picture and ask questions. I have a job where I'm a supervisor now, so I'm used to working with different people and collaborating and being sort of diplomatic, I think, the way I talk to people. I've done some community outreach. I enjoy talking with people about important issues, and so yeah, I just think I kind of have a broad education, and it would be open to looking at the big picture.
Great. Additional questions? Robert?
Just one last one. If you were to be elected and serve 4 years, what would be the one thing you would like to accomplish in that term in office that you could feel really proud of having gotten done?
I feel like there are a couple things, but I think one thing would be helping to address the discipline that was mentioned in that first question. You asked about the suspension and expulsion pipeline. So yeah, I'd like to help get a closer look at that and some different options.
Additional questions? Fine, I have another one. You know, being on the school board really is more of a volunteer. It's not a, you know, it's not a very well paid position. I'm wondering what sort of community service you've done, what sort of experience you've had, maybe working on a board or working with other people in sort of, you know, policy making or other community service aspects.
So I've mentored at-risk youth through a program called Youth in Focus. I did that for a few years. It's photography, mentorship. Volunteered through Planned Parenthood, did community outreach, talked to people, answered questions, had them sign for initiatives and different issues. And I worked for a car sharing company, which is now Zipcar, but it was FlexCar. So just educating people and signing them up. It's not, well, I thought it, you know, something good for the environment. And that wasn't volunteer, but I did enjoy that.
Great. Additional questions?
Is there anybody on the current school board or a past school board representative that you feel like you have an affinity for, you would really like to do work like that?
See, I'd have to like get to know them a little better, look into it a little more. But I think Betty Batu in the Senate. Yeah, I think she's been there a long time, and I admire what I've seen of her.
Clayton?
School board members have a relationship or not with the leadership of the district, and we've had problems with vision into the management of the district. And I wonder if you have any ideas about how you would manage your relationship with the leadership such that you stay in touch with what is actually happening within the school board.
So with the school board management? Or
Yeah, I'm referring to various episodes of shall we say, loss of funds from the school board through various means.
Well, I would attend as many meetings as I could. If I missed something, I would contact other board members. Is that kind of what you're? Sorry, I'm not sure that I understand exactly the question.
An employee of the school district embezzled a lot of money a few years ago, and it was evident during that entire fiasco that there was very little vision into the management of the district beyond talking to, having management show up at meetings, talking to the superintendent. So that seemed to be a problem to me, and I was referring to that.
Okay. Well, I would.
It's a tricky problem.
Yeah, I would want to see data and budgets, and I'd want to stay up to date some numbers and rather than just talking. So.
Thank you.
Additional questions? So we're a political organization, and we've already confirmed you're a Democrat. That's why you're here. But I'm just wondering, maybe even aside from education issues, what is sort of your perspective on politics right now? What gets you motivated as a citizen?
Well, I'm not happy with the current president.
You can read that. Check.
Yeah, I think the Affordable Care Act has helped a lot of people. I'm disappointed to see that it's being attacked. With the homeless people in the area, there's a lot of people who just are so frustrated not knowing what to do. So I'd love to see more support, especially with youth and families who are homeless. And I just believe in community support and engagement. So I think that's bottom line. But yeah.
Great. Time for another question or two. Anybody? Do you have any thoughts on sort of what sort of curriculum should be included in schools? I mean, just so as a general matter, or any specific classes that you think should be taught or not shouldn't be taught, or what should be focused on, what shouldn't be focused on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think there's been a lot of talk about focus on STEM, the science, technology, mathematics. But I don't want the arts to go by the wayside. I mean, I think music and arts are really important as well. I think it makes a well-rounded person, well-rounded education. So I just would encourage arts and music to stay in the schools, as well as physical activity, recess time.
Okay, I'll do one last question if anybody has one. Brittany.
Do you see a place for non-traditional educational methods like Montessori and Waldorf within the Seattle public school system?
Yes, I can see. I mean, I think Seattle has it's such a big system. I think there are a lot of opportunities to be leaders in school, new school techniques or new or the use of different models. So yeah, I mean, I don't believe in charter schools since the operation is separate, but I think Seattle could be innovative, and I see a place for that. Yes.
All right, we are about out of time. If you want to take 30 seconds for a closing statement.
I would just thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm really looking forward to the whole process since it's new to me. But thank you for